Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk Ralph English Podcast. I'm Ralph, and today we'll learn in very simple English.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aria. Let's learn together.
Today for our deep dive, we are talking about a very special word.
Oh, yeah, a really small word.
Yeah, exactly. Just three letters. G-E-T. The word is get.
It is like the most useful word in English, but also, the most confusing one.
Right, because imagine you are a tourist. You visit New York City for the first time.
Oh, wow. Big city.
Yeah, very big. And you ask someone for help. And they just tell you, get on the bus, get a coffee, and get over it.
And your brain just stops working.
Exactly. It's like, wait, what does this word even mean? It means four different things in one sentence.
Yeah, and for people learning English, this word makes them, freeze. They don't know what to say.
But for native speakers, we use it like 100 times a day. We don't even think about it.
No, not at all. So our mission for this deep dive is to explain this word in very simple English.
Yes, we want to help you understand how to use get from the moment you wake up to, well, traveling and working.
Let's start with the morning, because that is a perfect example.
Yeah, think about your morning today. The alarm rings, you open your eyes. What is the very first thing you do?
You get up.
Right. You get up, you are in bed, and then you stand on your feet.
And notice what is happening there. You don't say, I stand myself up.
No, that sounds so funny, like a robot.
Right. You use get to show a change. You change from sleeping to standing.
Okay, so I want to ask you about this. Is the word get like an engine?
An engine, like in a car.
Yeah, like a car engine. It pushes the English sentence forward. It moves you from point A to point B.
Oh, I love that. That is a really great way to think about it.
Right, it's just a motor.
Yes, English likes to be fast and easy.
Okay.
And get is a very strong, reliable engine to move ideas.
Okay, so the engine is running, you get up, what is next?
Well, you need clothes,
Yeah.
so you get dressed.
You get dressed, you put clothes on. But, wait, there's a funny grammar rule here, right?
Oh, yes. The past tense. The past time of get. It is different if you live in America or if you live in the UK.
Oh, really? How is it different?
So if you are in London, you say get, got.
Get, got. Okay, simple.
But if you go to America, they say get, gotten.
Gotten. That sounds so different. Why do they say it like that?
Well, gotten is a very old English word. People in the UK stopped using it, but people in America kept using it.
Oh, I see. So both are okay.
Yes, an American will say, I have gotten dressed, and a British person will say, I have got dressed.
But the engine is doing the same job. It changes you from having no clothes to having clothes.
Exactly. Hey, quick question for the listeners out there.
Oh, yes, viewers, we want to hear from you.
What time do you usually get up in the morning?
Yeah, tell us in the comments. Do you get up early or late? And, hey, if you are enjoying this deep dive so far, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, it really helps us make more deep dives for you.
Okay, so back to the morning. We are up, we are dressed. Next, we travel, we get to the office.
Yes, or you get to the school. It means you arrive.
Right, but then you sit at your desk, you have your coffee, and your boss says, okay, let's get to work.
Get to work. That is a very different feeling.
Yeah, because you are not moving your body, you are already sitting down.
Exactly. This is where the engine changes your mind. You move from resting to working hard.
Oh, like pushing the gas pedal in a car? Go, go, go.
Right. Now, since get is this strong engine, we also use it for our feelings, our emotion.
Oh, yes. Because we change feelings all day long.
Yes. Think about it. If you're working and it's late, you don't say, I am becoming tired.
No. Again, you sound like a textbook. You just say, I'm getting tired.
Because the word become is very slow. But feelings are fast.
So the engine is fast. I am getting tired. I am getting hungry.
Yes. You can get thirsty, you can get bored.
And happy things too, right?
Oh, for sure. You get excited, you get nervous, you get angry. It makes the feeling sound very real and human.
But there are two really big phrases for hard times. Two survival phrases.
Yes. The first one is get over it.
Ooh, get over it. That can sound a little mean sometimes, right?
It can, yeah. If you are sad, maybe a bad relationship ended, someone says, you will get over it.
What does the engine do there?
Well, imagine your sadness is a big, tall wall. It blocks your path.
Okay, I see the wall.
To get over it means you climb the wall. You go up and over, and you leave the sadness behind you.
Oh, wow. So you are totally recovered. You are happy again.
Exactly. You left the problem behind.
But what about the other phrase, get through? Like when people say, we will get through this tough week.
Yes, get through is different. You are not climbing a wall. You are inside a dark tunnel.
Oh, a tunnel, so the problem is all around me.
Yes. You have to keep the engine running and drive slowly in the dark until you see the light at the end.
So you are not happy yet, you are just surviving.
Exactly. You just push through the tunnel.
That is so interesting. Changing one little word over or through changes the whole picture in your mind.
It really does. And, we also use this engine for our friends and family. It connects people.
Oh, yeah, the social glue.
Right. When you meet someone new, you want to learn about them. You want to get to know them.
The engine pulls you closer to them, and if you like them, you get along.
Right. Get along means you are good friends. You do not fight.
And maybe if you really, really get along, you get married.
Yes, a huge change in your life.
But, well, sometimes the engine stops working.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
So just like you can get married, you can also get divorced.
Right. And doesn't care if it is happy or sad. It is just the engine changing your life.
Exactly. It's totally neutral. Oh, and there's a very strong phrase when you want to throw something away.
Oh, get rid of.
Yes. If you clean your room, you get rid of old trash.
You throw it away. But we use it for people, too.
We do. If you have a bad friend who makes you sad, you can say, I got rid of that toxic friend.
Wow, that is a very strong engine. You push them out of your life.
Yes, very strong. Hey, let's ask the viewers another question.
Good idea. Viewers, do you easily get along with new people, or does it take a long time to get to know someone?
Tell us down in the comments. We love reading your answers.
And if you are still with us, take 1 second to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Please do. Okay, so we talked about morning, feelings, and friends. But what about travel?
Oh boy. Travel English. This is where people get so angry at the English language.
Uh-huh. Yes, it can be very frustrating because we use get for almost all vehicles.
Okay, I have to ask you about this because it feels like English is playing a joke on us.
A joke? What do you mean?
Well, we learned that you get in a car.
Right, you get in a car.
But if the vehicle is bigger, we say get on, you get on a bus, you get on a plane. Why?
I know, it sounds crazy.
It does. There are both just metal boxes that move fast while in a car, but on a plane.
Okay, there is actually a very smart rule for this. It is about how your body moves inside the space.
My body. Okay, explain.
Think about a car. It is small, right?
Yeah, very low ceiling.
So when you enter a car, you have to bend your back. You fold your body, and you put yourself into a small box.
Oh, true. I have to go down and sit quickly.
Because you put yourself inside a tight container, you get in.
Okay. I am inside the box. I get in the car. What about a plane?
Well, think about a big public bus or a train or a plane. They have flat floors.
Yeah, like a room.
When you enter a plane, you don't fold your body into a ball. You stand straight up. You walk on the floor to find your seat.
Oh, my goodness.
Because you can stand up and walk on the floor, your brain thinks it is a flat surface.
Like walking on the ground.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you always step on a surface. So you get on the plane. You get on the train.
Wow. If I have to bend down and sit in a tight space, I get IM.
Yes.
But if I can stand up and walk around, I get on in.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
It's beautiful, right? The
Wow.
engine always follows how our bodies work.
That is a total game changer for English learners.
It really is. And we use get for lots of travel. If you want a holiday, you get away.
Like escaping your busy life. A weekend getaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when the holiday is over, you get back, you return home.
And if you visit a new city, maybe you ride a bike to get around.
Right. Get around means traveling inside a city.
But wait, get around can also be like a trick, right? Not just travel.
Well, yes. A metaphor.
A picture in your mind.
Right. Imagine a rule at work is like a big rock blocking your path.
Okay, a big rock in the road.
If you are smart, you can get around the rock. You don't hit the rock, you walk in a circle past it.
Oh, so you get around a rule. You don't break the rule, you just find a clever way past it.
Exactly. You avoid the problem.
I love how visual that is.
Yeah.
Speaking of work problems, what is the best phrase to use if someone asks a hard question in a meeting?
Oh, simple. You say, I will get back to you on that.
I will get back to you. But wait, I am not traveling. I am not walking back to their desk.
No, you are pausing the engine.
Mm-hmm.
You are saying, I will answer you later. It buys you time.
It is the best way to survive an office job. Just say, I will get back to you.
Uh-huh. It really is.
Okay, so we talked about moving, feelings, friends, and travel. The big theme here is progress. Moving forward.
Yes. Forward momentum.
So let's talk about the last piece. Life and jobs.
Get is amazing for talking about your life. If you practice a sport, you get better.
You improve, or if things go badly, they get worse.
Right. And at work, you always want to get ahead. You want your engine moving faster than other people.
You want to succeed, so you get a job, and then you get a promotion, and maybe you get a raise, so you make more money.
Let's look at the word choice there. You could say, I received a promotion.
That is good grammar, right?
Yes, perfect grammar. But how does it feel compared to, I got a promotion?
Received feels very passive, like I did nothing. A letter just arrived in the mail.
Right. But if you say, I got a promotion, it sounds like you worked hard. You pulled it to yourself. Your engine did the work.
You earned it. I like that much better.
And as you move through life, you see many new things. So you have to get used to them.
Oh, get used to, like if I move to a cold country, I have to get used to the snow.
Yes. The engine helps you change from feeling strange to feeling comfortable.
My head is spinning a little bit. There are so many meanings for this one word.
There really are. It can be a little scary for learners.
Because there are so many quick idioms like get across.
Yeah, get across. That means to communicate your idea, like building a bridge and sending your idea to the other person.
And get by.
Get by is when you have very little money or energy, but you survive. Like a car with almost no gas, but it is still moving.
You are just getting by. And what about get lost?
Well, literally, you don't know where you are. But it is also a rude way to tell someone to go away.
Like get out of here, get lost.
Exactly. Start your engine and go far away.
So as a learner, how can I memorize 30 different ways to use get?
That is the secret. You don't.
No.
No, please don't try to memorize a big, boring list. Language doesn't work like that.
So what should a learner do?
Pick 3 phrases that you actually need.
Yeah.
If you work in an office, practice, I will get back to you. If you wake up tired, practice, I need to get to work.
Just pick 3 and use them in real life.
Yes. Language grows when you use it, not when you read a list.
That is such great advice, because being good at English is not about knowing big, fancy words.
No, it's about deeply understanding the small, flexible words that build everyday conversations.
The words that do the hardest work are usually the tiny ones.
They really are.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. We followed the word get, from waking up to relationship breakups to flying on a plane to growing in a career.
It is a busy little word. But before we say goodbye, I have one final thought for our listeners to think about.
Oh, I love these. What is your final thought?
Think about this. If one single word can mean everything from dancing at a party, which we call getting down,
Getting down, yeah.
to taking revenge on an enemy, which we call getting even.
Oh, getting even.
If it depends completely on the context, what does that say about how English speakers view the world? Is English a language that cares more about direction and movement instead of specific rigid actions?
Oh, wow. Does English just care about the flow? I am going to be thinking about that all day.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is English just a language of movement?
Yes, write your thoughts in the comments. And please, if you had fun today, remember to hit that like button, share with a friend, and subscribe for more easy English deep dives.
Thank you so much for learning with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us as we looked at the hidden engine of the English language. Keep looking for the hidden magic in the small, everyday things. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing.